we'll move forward with the Wednesday, October 21st, 2020, very scheduled Lawrence County Prison Board meeting. We will have the attendance taken.
Mr. Bowler?
Here.
Ms. Bowler?
Here.
Mr. Valero?
Here.
Mr. Lamafusto?
Here.
Mr. Boyd?
Here.
Mr. Gettings?
Here. Here.
Very good. We can continue. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Everyone, members of the board have gotten the minutes from our last meeting, which I will say was uneventful. I'll take a motion to accept.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. That motion carries. Okay, we will have the warden give us a review of the population report.
Total count today was 122, and we also had 9 inmates released to us to an SEI. We've been trying to do since June. Finally, was that move was done this morning. Nothing out of the ordinary. Pretty routine.
And that delay sometimes happen, just for clarification, that there are rules and regulations that we have to follow because of COVID, that there's a certain time period from when somebody is tested that they can be moved to go to another facility. So the 9 that are leaving today, that's minus the 122.
No, that would have been minus 1. I think would be like 114, 13 total right now. That was left this morning.
Okay, very good. And I see county administrative inmates. What is that?
Which one are you looking at?
It says the number of other county administrative inmates.
No, we have inmates out at Mercer for administrative purposes.
Okay, that was just the first one I had seen it on. I thought it was something different. Emails. And when we have where it says the Lawrence County inmates housed at other facilities, 19 of them, is that including like Mercer, or are there other facilities that they
That would include Mercer. We have them housed, one at Forest, one at Torrance, and also the feds are hiring. We also have 3 with the feds. Incarcerated with the feds, detention.
There are 4 housing units that are open.
Correct.
And a question on those that are in booking. They're not there for a long period of time. They're just
Usually 24 hours.
24 hours, and then they move to a housing unit. That's just for at the beginning when they first get there. Okay, because there's 12 listed there. Okay. Any other members have any questions on the population report? No? I'll take a motion to approve population report.
Second.
Seconded. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Great. Next, approval of the bills.
A question on the bills.
Yes.
Castle maintenance products, what's the colors? E31, purple, green, orange, what is that?
Those are cleaning detergents, cleaning disinfectants.
No dynamite.
No.
So the
That's what
colors.
they're labeled. That's what they're labeled. That's what they're called.
Alright.
The E23, see how they are, E31.
Yeah.
One's peroxide, one's disinfectant, 2 disinfectant.
2050 is coming out of telephone revenue, what is that?
That would have been, that's.
Oh, I saw them, yeah, okay, all right, no problem. That's fine.
Where do you see color, where do you see colors at, Dave, for the council meetings? What am I missing?
You don't have it, it's right here. This is bills.
All right.
And this is, I'm reading these off the bills. So
Oh,
Buckeye
yes,
blue,
yes,
purple,
gotcha,
green, orange. I
gotcha,
want to know what those were.
okay. All right, very good.
$1,900 for Range Corp. Right here. HRANES Corp. What is that?
That is our dryer duct that we have cleaned every 6 months. One member.
So it's maintaining space.
Yep.
Okay, all right, thank you. I move we approve the bills.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Old business. I know that we've been discussing the prime care contract, and that is, I didn't find the one that just had the mental health, that we talked about the mental health person alone being,
Like I said, I wasn't here last
the
week.
hours reduced, right.
I think it
So I
was,
think that's where the miscommunication is between you and I. We've discussed at prison board whether to reduce some staffing with prime care. And I believe Controller Gettings, you had mentioned about the mental health personnel, keeping them there due to COVID and not having as much room to, be out and mingle and have visitors and things, that we keep the mental health where it's at. But then I spoke with, and speaking with the warden, we were looking to where that was on one of the proposals from prime care. And I think maybe that's something that we need to go back and find out where that is, because the only one that I could find was either the LPN staffing being reduced or the LPN as well as the mental health
Was
hours
that on
being
the second
reduced.
page of that? There's 2 or 3 pages to that, wasn't it on the second or third
I
page?
mean, because we've been discussing this for so long, I don't know if it was just something that we discussed as a possibility
Right.
of something that we could do remotely, or if it was an actual proposal.
And we can, I just wanted to clarify that because it didn't come to a resolution for the commissioners to sign off on that. So we'll get together
Yeah,
and discuss it, and then you can maybe we'll contact prime care again and make sure we're doing what it is that we want to do. Have our solicitor review it, and then we'll just get a resolution on it. Okay. And that's all I had for, yes.
I had some old business.
Sure.
Yeah, and this is old business that predates the last couple of meetings, I think right before COVID. I would like the warden to take a look, just make sure that the policies are in place regarding that jail work program, where when COVID, when things sort of clear up and we do get the permission, I'd like to be able to go to Judge Motto and get some of the inmates to do cleanup work in the community based upon all the criteria that I've given to the jail. So I just want to make sure that we have the administrative framework in place. So when we do get the green light, whether it's from the governor or from anyone else, this is a program we can implement and get some people from the jail out into our community trying to clean it up.
That's something that you will work together.
I have passed.
Okay. Any questions on that? Sure.
When they have that, they're working for us as the county, or they're working for a business?
They would work for the county. So they
Do we
can,
have the right insurance for that? We talked about this in the past.
that's one of the things we'd have to check.
I don't know whether we do.
Obviously, we would also need a furlough signed by the judge. And then there's a criteria for which inmates would be eligible. We can't put dangerous guys out there. But there's a lot of low-level offenders that we should be able to use to help the
Okay.
community. So
I think that's something, if
no reason not to do it.
right, if there's nuts and bolts there or a framework, then just expand from there and make sure that we get together, and then kind of come before the prison board and we move forward on it.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, sure. Any other old business?
Yes, please.
Yes.
There, now I can see you.
Okay. Whoops.
This had been discussed a number of meetings ago, so I guess it does fall under the definition of old business. We had talked about the process that's in place relative to new hires, and we utilize a document that has our names listed and Sometimes it's hand carried by one of the, either the warden or the deputy warden, and has attached to it the individual's application and documents pertaining to that, such as letters of recommendation and so on. And I think we had contemplated utilizing a system that might implementing a format whereby staff could scan these documents and send them out in an email to all 7 of us so that we all get them simultaneously and all have an opportunity to weigh in on it pretty much all at the same time, whereby the process right now, it's pretty much who's available and when they're walking them around. I perhaps it warrants more discussion, but I'm prepared under new business to propose that we go forward with this format. But that being said, I would be respectful of the other 6 members if they would like another month to perhaps contemplate it. But I just think it's a more doable way of accomplishing this. And again, there might be some details, and I apologize to Solicitor Medora, because this might be something that's catching you cold, and maybe there are some things we need to take into account before we move forward. But so if it's the board's wish that we take one more month to have the solicitor look into that process, I'm certainly willing to wait that month, but I will put it out there for if any of the other members would wish to weigh in. Thank you, Madam Chair.
We should absolutely do this. At least I can't speak for the other members of the prison board, but there are times where I've held up applications to speak for, whether I was in Pittsburgh for 3 days or there was a reason why I didn't see them. I prefer to get it virtually, be able to just quickly respond and then, have it to the next member, as opposed to passing around this antiquated paper ballot.
And I'll take it one step further. I know that Attorney Flannery had looked into actually the entire process because our solicitor, full-time solicitor, Leslie, had some issues with the fact that the papers were taken around, that he didn't think that was the plausible way to do things. He was looking into things, and then he had handed it off to Attorney Flannery to be taking care of that. I think and I've had basic conversation with Jason just with the instances because of that. Is that something that we should continue to do? How should we do it? Interviewing, hiring practices to begin with. Should there be maybe a couple of prison board members, if anybody would be willing to sit on interviews, or just the mix with the way that the process goes, since it's part of the county makeup, but yet separate because there is the prison board that does the hiring. I know that was an issue, and I would certainly defer to at least the next month to get some more information on that, and to even further, collaborate with our solicitor, Medora, and of course the warden, just to see if we couldn't come up with some type of best practice for us to use going forward that may involve a process involving whether it be HR more involved or several prison board members being involved. I don't know, but I certainly think it's up for discussion. I know that I know that even speaking with the warden, you get many applications that are in, and you try to get through them, but I don't even know where we stand with this group of the part-timers that came in this time around. That one thing compounds to the other, and just trying to separate it, to at least fix one thing and make it constant, to try to get, more part-timers in, keeping them in, because I just noticed from something from HR that 2 more part-timers had resigned. And I don't know where that leaves us in the mix. How many part-timers do we have?
3 coming out.
3 coming out of the new
Coming out of
class.
yeah. 2 found better jobs. full-time job.
And that happens, and that does. And then what about the part-timers right now that are on the schedule working, how many?
There's 4.
Yeah, so we have,
3, so it'll be a total of 7. This class will be done this Friday.
okay,
They'll be on the job next week.
okay. And then again, probably gonna start that process all over again
Right.
with trying to get more part-timers. So I mean, it just bears with discussion if everyone is okay with, waiting a month on that and see what progress we can make.
I certainly am, but if I to understand you, Commissioner, what you're referring to though is not the process of hiring or anything like that. It's just the specific,
Right.
how we're handling the routing of this paperwork
Yes,
that's getting held up
yes.
at various points. Is that-
I took it to the next
Okay,
level, but yeah.
I wasn't sure if that's what
Yeah,
the Commissioner was saying.
My proposal was somewhat more narrow in scope.
Yes.
It's that point at which recommendations are being made to the prison board as to whether or not to hire a particular person or persons.
Sure.
And that's
Yes.
where I was zeroing in on. And, no, but again, I'm very willing to wait one more month but perhaps if we can get that ironed out, maybe a month from now, I'll make it as a formal, motion that we do that.
Yes,
I can tell you, I spent 8 years as prison board chairperson. You had to walk them around every time. We can't, if we're gonna get them back and do that, that's fine, but everybody should have a say. I spend time going around doing that. So if we're not gonna do that, then we gotta figure out, we have a meeting once a month to go over. This
Right.
shouldn't take, this is not rocket science. We should be able to get a meeting that says, here we are, figure it out, get it taken care of.
I
And
just
this is,
want to bring it up that was
On again.
something that was raised by the previous solicitor, Leslie, and I brought it to the attention of our solicitor now. What type of process do you think? And I think it bears discussion. That's all.
no problem, let's just
If
get it
it's
done.
part of
We
an
keep talking
entire
about it, we'll never
process
get
and
there.
then, it may be that, no, there is no, continue the way that it is and we just send it via email so that everybody has that opportunity to just sign off on it and move forward. But I think, since it was brought up by legal counsel previous, that it's something to pursue.
What if with regards to this, just to make a step forward, what if we made a motion or enact a policy here, or in the immediate future, for at least the next month, maybe the next, forever, we start doing the email scan, everybody gets it simultaneously input. In the interim, you can still research with Solicitor Medor and see if we need to improve the process. But in the event that we don't, we can put that into place right now.
Is that in the form of a motion?
I can make it.
I'll second.
Okay, now Rhonda will decipher it.
Yeah, so the motion is to change the process in which we sign off on hirings from a hard copy process in which a sign-off sheet is passed physically from board member to board member to a virtual process where the warden, deputy warden, or designee scans the sign-off sheet and sends it simultaneously to all 7 members of prison board.
Well, that's essentially what I was suggesting.
Yeah.
And you're jumping into it, and that's fine. I was mindful and wanted to be respectful of the other members to make certain that they had no issue with it. So that's why I held off.
One comment, I would want to know what everyone else is voting too. We need to have input on that. If he votes yes, I want, in other words, when someone comes back to that, we need to print those back out so that, if Josh knows something we don't know and he votes no, then I'm going to find out why he voted no.
Mhm.
Because most of the time it's a good reason. I say most of the time.
Sure. Sure.
But the point is, we need to be able to have feedback on that.
I agree, definitely, without a doubt. So then maybe we're not ready for a motion just yet.
I think there should be a motion in a second.
All right, the motion in the second, continued discussion on it. Include that as an addendum to the motion?
Doesn't have to specifically be in there, it's just a matter of telling you that I think everybody needs to know what's going on, that's all.
So
We shouldn't
with
vote
that
in a vacuum.
feedback, when you declare your vote, if it is a no, just maybe a short explanation why?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that good?
That always puts me in a strange position because if somebody's under investigation and I click no, there's no scenario where I'm writing down,
Right,
this
correct.
guy's under investigation.
Right.
So that creates a bad situation for me. I don't know. I certainly would never put that on paper.
Right.
Because who knows if, I don't know if it can be discoverable at some point or not, but,
So no explanation needed. I agree with you.
yeah,
In other words, if Josh says no, just vote no.
well, no, I'm not suggesting that because maybe I have a different reason, but
Yeah.
if I can't, if somebody's under investigation, I can't write down this guard's under investigation. If we're trying to move a part-timer to full-time, I can't write this guy's under investigation. Or if it's a new hire that we're looking
Correct.
at for some reason. So I don't know how we necessarily get over that hurdle unless we have an actual meeting where we say, hey, here's the situation in the executive session, it's a personnel matter, so it stays within the confines,
Right.
and I limit what I can
Right.
provide.
The only time it's a
So are we
problem.
clogging the waters?
Yes.
Well, how about this? If it is something like that, then can I just say we should have a meeting, or I'll ask
Yes.
for an executive session, for a meeting to discuss? Is that
Whatever makes
easier?
it easier for you, not to put you on the spot for anything, absolutely.
Okay.
Are we making the waters muddy or clear or?
Let's get them started and then we can work it out later.
Yeah, I think we
I
should,
agree.
because it'll expedite the process the way, the commissioners have suggested.
Okay, so the original motion stays. With a second and. In the event of a no vote, further discussion can be held.
Take a roll call.
And just add it to the motion, you know what I'm saying? What we just talked about.
Well, if no vote, there's no vote, we can revisit it the next meeting.
So it doesn't need to be fully added. I don't want to diminish it, but I don't want to make it muddy either. We just be able to make the
Just
process
moving
move forward.
from carbon copy to, or from physical to digital.
If somebody's upset, they're gonna tell the other members why they're upset. At least they should.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll have Rhonda read back the motion.
So I'm gonna listen to the tape too, so I don't have, I
Okay.
think I have everything. I just have to change the process for the new hires. So they're not being signed off. They'll be virtual to all 7 members. In order for Josh to go through, we would just put a no, and the no vote will be revisited if there's a no.
I would say X the part with Josh.
Yeah,
Any part,
just
any
leave it as
member.
very basic and then we can go from there.
If I may, the process we're using right now, there's really not much interaction amongst the 7 members. If I'm the 4th person to get the document, I see how the other 3 people have voted. And I don't know how the rest of the members are going to vote, because it's going to go to one of them next.
Mhm.
Under this format, if we hit reply all, we'll see how each of us have voted. And once you get to 4 votes, then it happens.
And that doesn't change, that's how it is now, that we get to the 4, but at least everybody has an opportunity to see it.
Well, I think the benefit of doing it virtually is we have so many applicants that we're all in agreement. We all say, yes, this person would be a great fit for it, and their application's being held up by the amount of time it takes for us to route this through all the different offices. So I think this will solve a lot of problems and expedite the process. And if we have a no situation, then we can deal with that on a case by case.
Great.
I'll thank Commissioner Boyd for making my motion.
Thank you for
And a second,
the idea.
yeah, a second on that. Any further discussion? We're all clear on the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Okay. Any other old business? Okay, on to new business. I think we didn't have discussion on anything that would be new, or Josh said just bringing up the utilizing in the future, the inmates may be new or old business, but that's taken care of, nothing else.
Maybe I should have brought up the population report. I have been requesting recently the jail to move several inmates. We have several cases on board that are homicide cases that have been involving lots of co-defendants. And it makes it very difficult for the jail personnel, for the guards to keep these people sort of separate. And, each case is a little bit different, but I've been calling over and requesting of the warden and deputy warden to move some of these people out of the facility. Yesterday, I called over and I believe that transfer already occurred. Correct. That transport occurred. So I'm trying to not create bad situations for the guards where we have people that are on opposite sides of the case that are stuck together. So that has probably led to an increase of us using some other facilities on some of those requests. And I should have brought that up earlier at the population.
And it makes sense. It does. Any other new business? I will now open it up to visitor comments. I don't know where the,
Here you go.
sheet went to. Robin is first.
My name's
If you
Robin.
wanted to stand up or speak and,
Okay. My
So
name's
everybody can hear you.
Robin, and I'm here to help Holly out and Daryl. And I would appreciate if Holly could speak before I do, if that would be all right.
okay,
Thank
sure.
Yeah.
And Holly then?
Okay. So the reason that I'm here is I'm here to bring information in regards to starting a veterans court here in Lawrence County and why I feel that the county tremendously could benefit from the use of a veterans court. I know that Judge Motto, a few years I had spoke to you in regards to starting one here in Lawrence County and getting one, and you, I do believe that at that time there wasn't enough inmates in the inmate population that would qualify for that program. And I wanted to know the process of which we identify inmates as veterans or non-veterans, what the screening process is. A lot of times I know that in our program, working with some individuals, it's difficult for us to identify veterans. If you just simply ask somebody if they're a veteran, there's a lot of them that will not identify as a veteran, even though they have served due to either maybe they were a Vietnam era or for, if they don't believe that they were an actual veteran because they haven't served overseas or have been in combat. So a lot of people, they have served, but they are not identifying themselves as a veteran. So I had some information in regards to how in various counties and across Pennsylvania, how Veterans Court has been successful in helping veterans that are in the judicial system stay productive and being out in the community. And that's why we have Robin and also John here. They are two veterans that have been through the system and they have been experienced. They were in Lawrence County, and the difficulty is that we transfer them to Butler County or to Mercer County. And that process is always a very smooth transition. So there's some difficulties in that glitch. And that's why I was feeling even if we may not have the numbers to support that, but even if we can just help one veteran here in Lawrence County,
Absolutely.
it might be beneficial. So I have this information if
Okay.
you'd like.
May I, Madam Chair?
Absolutely,
Since-
sure.
Since everything that's being said is on the record, would you be kind enough to your name and the
Yes,
organization?
I'm sorry.
Sure.
The
I'm sorry.
organization that you're representing, please.
Yes, my name is Holly Beaton. I'm the executive director at the Lawrence County Care Center, which is the mental health drop-in center here in Lawrence County. And I would like to highlight that we did start a Veteran X program. I'm not sure who else might want one of these. We did start a Veteran X program, and we were the first ever in Lawrence
Thank
County
you.
to have it's a Veteran X program that is a program that benefits veterans. It's veterans empowering other veterans, and it is a way to help them advocate on their own behalf and learning the system. In Lawrence County, we are the first ever community one. There are 53 of them operational in the United States. We are the first one to have one in a community setting. The rest of them are all held at a VA. So we run the Veteran X program every Tuesday evening, and we would like to see if we can work on getting a veterans court to help support the veterans further. So Robin,
Thank you so
also-
much. Yes.
Thank you.
My name's Robin, and as Holly has stated, I've been through the system and everything. I spent some time here in the Lawrence County jail. I was a chronic alcoholic, and I had some major issues all my life. And it's because of things that really happen that I don't talk about. But when I came in here today, I heard a head count of the inmates that are in the county jail. Do we know how many of those inmates are veterans? Do they ask that question when you come through the door? And something else that I wanted to say is, you know, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired and, you know, being homeless and things like that. And so I really reached out for help. And the court system here did give me some help. They let me serve some time in the VA domiciliary, which I spent 7 months in that program up there. And that's what really made me see who I am and what's going on and that I am the problem. So, you know, thanks to that program and all the other programs that the VA has to offer, I got involved with each and every one. And as Holly had stated, there's a Veteran X program. And one thing I can tell you is it seems like veterans get better health, veteran on veteran, the camaraderie and everything else like that. Just sitting down and talking to a basic social worker, there's a distance in between the two. And the thing of it is, the veterans can relate. We guide these guys to the resources out in the communities and everything. And, you know, a lot of the guys, as Holly stated, they don't realize that they are veterans and they are eligible for a lot of help and a lot of benefits. And I had talked with Lawrence County Drug and Alcohol, and I got some friends that work there, and they had told me that they brought it to the county's attention about starting a Veteran X court here through Judge Motto, I guess. And they said that the veteran population in Lawrence County is so low that they feel there's no need for a veterans court. What I would like to say is, I don't care if we have four veterans, 3 veterans, 2 veterans in this county jail. You know, one judge can stand up for an hour and guide these guys through the Veteran X court. You know, it's such a great thing. It's more, yeah, okay, I got credit for being in the domiciliary. They took 7 months off my sentence. Then I finished the rest of the sentence. But see, this veterans court is more rigorous for a veteran. There's a lot more to this. They get hooked up with paramedic specialists. They get hooked up with a special probation officer. They report to the court system once a week, and they got things they have to get done. And as they go through this program, which could last 2 years through the Veterans Court, they can get their records expunged if they follow through. You see, because at any point, I did the 7 months at the domiciliary up here. At any point, I could have made it my choice. Hey, I can always rely on the domiciliary, and I can always get credit for jail time. But the thing of it is, and then I'll go back to drinking because I know I got that ace in the hole. But the thing of it is, with this veterans court, they push you and they push you and they push you, and it's a 2-year thing. And people really learn how to change their lives over doing it. And basically, that's all I really wanted to say. Thanks, folks.
Could I comment?
Absolutely.
As a treatment court judge, I just want to tell you that I'm very, very open to veterans court. And I can also tell you, nobody that I know of in the court system or in the county in general has ever made the statement that we don't have enough veterans for a veterans court. If that came from drug and alcohol, that's on them. Because if it was just one person, I'd be the first to have it. The thing about it is that it's not something, I do drug court and I do mental health court. So I'm a big fan of problem solving courts. I've done a lot of research on it. I've been to seminars on it. It operates differently from regular drug courts and mental health courts. It's a whole new team of people in and of themselves. that includes people who have been veterans and can relate to the veterans that are in the program. So in order to have one, it would take additional resources. Not something that I, as a judge, can initiate on my own. It would take some discussion with county commissioners and what the cost of it would be, what additional personnel there would have to be. So I just want to clear up I was mainly concerned. Somebody said that there's not enough veterans. If there was one person, it would be enough. So it is something I've looked at for a long time. It's something I definitely have never taken off the table. It's something I'd be glad to pursue, but it would involve a discussion with the county in general in terms of finances and what it would take to put a team together. And not just county. Drug and alcohol would have to devote somebody to it. So it'd be a matter of their resources also. People who provide rehabilitation service would have to be on board with it and would have to want to make a commitment to it and apply their resources. And they would want to know, how are we getting paid for doing that? So it would take a commitment from a lot of various sources, but I agree with you. I agree with everything you said. To help one person, I'd be all for it. And I'd be glad to help move that forward if we can get all the other pieces of the puzzle together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I knew that you would certainly be the first to offer up any sort of guidance that we would need for that. And thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for serving. Thank you so much for coming here, and congratulations to you for your sobriety and actually taking on a role of a mentor, if that is what it is or not. But I would say, as far as I'm concerned as well, I'm shocked to hear that there wouldn't be enough veterans in Lawrence County. I think we're one of the top 3 or 4 counties. We're number 4.
We're fourth in the United States.
In the United States. I apologize. I was going to say across the Commonwealth. So we have the 4th largest population of veterans in the United States. And there are veterans that are struggling and they do need our help. So I will also certainly be willing to sit and discuss and move forward in any way that we can. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
As a father of a fallen Marine with the foundation, I'm willing to support in a monetary way of some kind. I'm not sure what it is, but I also have a lot of friends who have funds at the Lawrence Community Foundation that I know would put up money for this. So you just need to, that's why I gave you that card. You need to contact me. My son was killed in Iraq, and I have a number of Marine sons. I understand the problem. I understand the situation, and I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Yes. Any other comments? And I know, John, did you wish to speak as well?
Yes, my name is John Lusk. I am a graduate of Veterans Court of Butler County. And I came here just to be open-minded and have the willingness to come here. And I got on a telephone this morning. I was contacted at 11 o'clock last night asking if I would come here, and I said it'd be my pleasure. But there's a team I have a judge in Butler County, Judge McCune, in probation, Butler County probation, Tammy Corson, and Kelly Fulmer, also connected with the VA. They are willing to come here and talk to you and make appointments and help you people in any way they can. I made a choice, like less than 3 weeks, I'd helped 4 years clean and sober, and I didn't go to probation. I had to actually apply with an application to go to Veterans Court and was accepted. I don't know if any of you know what a Gravity 9 score is, but I was not one of them people that was going to be successful in Veterans Court. But through the help of these people and these programs, it turned my life around. I would do it and recommend it to any veteran. And I'm a combat veteran, and I have served 2 years and 9 months overseas. The programs that the judges and the courts recommend for veterans don't have the necessary mental health for PTSD And veterans need to be recommended to the domiciliary at the Butler VA. And you people started Veteran X, and I am a proud member of Veteran X. And I also spent 6 months in the halfway house at the Dome. This program and these people turned my life around. And what the statistics were back in 2012, that most veterans were repeatedly put in jail, and the suicide rate was out of this world. And this is what this is all about, saving a life. And I'm I have a very high gratitude for Judge Kamato and you, Mrs. Commissioner, that you get involved and you look into how we can change. I can change my whole life. You can change this court system. I know you can. These people need it. That's all I have.
Thank you. And also thank you for your service. Definitely. I look forward to meeting afterwards, exchanging cards, and anyone that would be interested to move forward with it. You have my commitment to it. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Daryl?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm Daryl Audia. I'm a county resident, okay? I'm speaking as a county resident. I was invited to go to Veterans X 2 weeks ago. I can tell you, I was so impressed with the way they communicated again, or with each other. Let me tell you, it gives you shivers when they stand up and say, John Jones, Army, before they start talking, and they let them identify they're proud of what they've done. It gives you, when they read the creed of the veteran, that no one will be left behind. As I speak now, I feel these shivers, and I got so impressed with these folks that they're reaching out not only to be able to talk and group meet with each other, but they're sharing information on how to get veteran benefits to take care of. My friend Bill Marks died of Agent Orange at the age of 53. He is a resident, or was a resident, on Roosevelt Drive in Lawrence County. He's a very good friend when I worked at the Department of Environmental Protection. I met somebody, Mike, from your group. He was a Vietnam veteran. I personally was number 53 in the draft, and I was about ready to go. They canceled the draft. I took the bus ride to Pittsburgh, but I didn't take the bus ride to Parris Island or take a bus ride to any of the other places to do boot camp. I know the difference. I'm telling you, these people served, and I'm not trying to grandstand here. I'm going to tell you that 11.7% of the jail population in this country are veterans. The thing that I found amazing is that a veteran sometimes do not register themselves as a veteran because they think, well, I didn't get shot, I wasn't over in this overseas, I wasn't this. There's a definition, it's 30 days active, right? 30 days active. There's some things that we don't know, I didn't know. So the next meeting, which was last night, I brought Bill Schaefer, who was a Vietnam veteran, and he has Agent Orange, and he brought to light that the American Legion is open to these folks who may have drug and alcohol problems because his organization doesn't have any alcohol. So he's invited them down, and of course invited them for a free breakfast once a month. And I guess what I'm trying to do, and not just the grandstand here, is just to say there's 793,000 veterans in the PA. Butler and Mercer has it. It sounds like you guys are going to take advantage of that and identify this problem and stay with it. I just thank God that there was somebody that introduced me to this so that I could support them. And it's all donations, right?
Yes.
You don't get any funding.
There's
So-
absolutely no.
No funding at all. And these people are reaching out. And then I'm going to close on the fact that in this circle, they have a set of rules on how to talk, when to talk, not to be interrupted. I mean, it's military, but it's great. When you hear somebody stand up and say, I'm from Navy, I'm from Air Force, I'm from the Marines, and they basically share their hearts. They understand each other. I will not pretend like I understand them. And that's basically one of the reasons why I'm here. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric. We certainly appreciate all of you being here and look forward to working with you in the future. Yes, thank you. Greg. Rizzotti. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Greg Rizzotti. I've been an employee at the jail for February will be 21 years. I was informed from this young man during an interview for the jail that my name was used, but it was actually my name was being bashed, bad things were being said about me. My sister was involved in this interview during his interview for the job. I just want to answer why it was done like that and why my name was even brought up to an interview from a person that's coming for a job.
Can I answer?
Sure.
Because that is not correct. The individual had your name down as a reference.
Yeah, I told him not to put it down. I don't want to involve them. Nobody's
Okay, then, well,
application.
it was, and you're.
But I told him I don't want to
Can
involve.
I finish?
Yeah.
He was asked how he knew you. And then he proceeded to tell how he knew you. That was it. That's all that was discussed in the interview.
Mhm.
That was it.
Well, I told him not to put my name down on that application because I'd get my name battered, which I did get it battered. And he's right here to tell the whole story. If you need the whole story. You were told the whole story. Karen King was told the whole story. She was supposedly taking paperwork down for it. She said, we'll be introduced at the prison board meeting. That's why I'm here. I just don't, listen, I've been there. I just want to retire. I got 2.5 years. I don't want no problem. I don't bother nobody. I want to do my 8 hours and leave. That's all I want to do. But when my name is brought up in an interview, which is wrong to me, then I got to say something. Because I just let things go, roll off my shoulders. I have to. Because if I don't, then I'll probably be a resident at that jail. And I can't do that. You know what I mean? I just want to do 2.5 years and be left alone. That's it.
Your name was never used.
Well, then here he is right here. Ask him. He's right here.
I will.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I put him down as a reference because you had to list like your friends or your family members that work
And
there.
your name is just for
Ryan
the
Cooper.
record.
And the interview started off and I was basically asked like to tell about myself, which I did. And immediately after that, Hilton said, I see you know Greg Rizzotti, and I'm going to tell you right now, we don't need another Greg Rizzotti here throwing tantrums or throwing inmates when he doesn't get his way. And then he said to Covert, I believe, he said, yeah, he's known him a long time. And Covert said, yeah, I've known Greg longer than you've been alive. And I could say that's not how we're going to run things here. And if you want to come in and do your time and mind your business, then I'll use you. And I have no problem using you, which I took as a threat.
I don't know if
Can you
that
speak on that?
borderlines personnel issues to take into executive session or not.
It's up to him.
I would say
that it does.
Okay.
Well, can I speak on that? I mean, I have 2 witnesses here that were also in that interview.
I'll defer to our solicitor only because names are mentioned in personnel processing is being discussed.
Yeah, you had the opportunity to rebut what Mr. Rizzotti said, and at the same time, as the warden, you have the opportunity to talk with us in executive session regarding personnel matters. I'd rather that this type of conversation gets continued in executive session.
Okay.
Thanks.
I will say on the record that it's not true how that interview went down.
I don't lie. That's all I got to say. I don't lie. And you know what? I have somebody here to say it.
Okay.
Even know I don't lie, and that's Josh. I never lied to Josh. I was in a few things with Josh. He, you know what I mean, about with that place, and I never lied to that man, and he can vouch for that. I ain't a liar. I don't lie about it. I have nothing to lie about. If I, just like I told Josh, if I do anything over there, I'll come to him. I'll go to him. I'll go to you. I'll come to anybody and say I did anything. I just don't lie. I don't have to run my life through lies. There's no reason to. I've been doing that job for 20 years. If I ain't good enough and I'm bad mouth behind my back, then get rid of me. Get rid of me.
Can I say something too? On that?
Just, if you think it's something to say in the public meeting, we're reserving.
Let him say whatever.
I'll call it the executive.
We will continue the discussion with it in executive session. And I'll just go to next because you are, Lynn Jones, you are next on the other person to speak, and then he's the last person.
Yes, I got a
to
letter
speak.
I wrote, but I'm an emotional person. And we've been through this. I'm Glenn G. Jones Jr., been at the jail for 28 years. And they always say I'm a problem or I cause drama or this and that, but I have a letter that I wrote and it's on my phone. I would like Ron Dehaney to read it for me, if that would be okay. Would that be okay? Okay, it's on my phone. And then afterwards, I would like to speak about the letter that I wrote. And it has a lot to do with last prison board meetings and everything like that. And it's kind of long, so bear with me, folks. All you have to do is please listen and take it from the bottom of your heart to listen. And not listen to one person or the other person. Listen to your own heart for once. You people, everybody over here think that I'm a monster because I come over here and speak my piece and I speak the truth. But monsters ain't speaking the truth. And just because I'm an emotional person, I wear my heart on my sleeve, number one, and I speak the truth. There's no reason for me to lie here. And the people of Lawrence County have to figure out and know what is going on over there, the truth. And I don't slip, Josh, you and I have a good representation, but I do not slip at the tongue ever. Never. Last prison board meeting, I took that as an insult. I don't slip at the tongue. When I came to people with problems, they just got pushed aside. You said you did an investigation. You might have did your investigation, but just like Warden Covert said right now, he has 2 witnesses. That's how it always is. We are always outwitnessed. We are always the liar, the problem, it angers me to the point to no return because nothing is being done. Because it is the 4 people, we have a prison board. Instead of taking one guy's truth about it, investigate. Do your own investigation. President Judge, great President Judge. All these years you have been awesome. Go to yourself and ask these people. Go to the jail and ask the officers. Mr. Vogler, never seen you over at the jail. You know me, you know some of my neighbors and they speak highly of me, sir, right? Never a problem. I take care of the elderly, I take care of kids. I bring kids into my home that have problems. But of course, I'm a problem at the jail. I just don't get it because of what they say in executive meeting. So please read the letter and we'll go from there. Sorry, I took too long. Yeah. Which way you want to go? This way? Okay.
My name is Lynn Jones. I'm a correctional officer at Lawrence County Jail and have been for 28 years. I speak for the silent majority and the quiet professionals who risk their lives on a daily basis to protect society. There are still major unresolved issues within this facility. They have been the same issues that most people, except for a courageous few, have turned a blind eye to for a number of years. The path we are going down as a facility is a downward spiral out of control. If nothing changes, it will be one major incident after another, ultimately leading to the loss of a life from a staff or inmate. I watched the last prison board meeting and witnessed a severely divided facility. I even witnessed a severely divided vote of the prison board to retain or fire the current administration. What I did not witness was either of the said 2 administrators speak of what to do next, what direction to go, or how to mend a divided facility. There have been 0 changes since that board meeting. It has been more of the same business as usual. I have grown not to expect any change from the current administration. Going back to an officer selling drugs in the parking lot. There were no changes in policy or procedure after that incident. An officer got assaulted and sent to the ER. No investigation launched on what could have been done better. There was just blame put on the officer who was assaulted. And then a vending machine added to the unit with snacks in it for inmates. Another time, 2 officers handcuffed an inmate to a rail and threw makeshift water balloons at an inmate. There were no changes to policy or procedure then either. There had been no communication through formal speeches or even a memo. Just 2 officers fired and an alleged lawsuit paid to said inmate. Another incident occurred where an inmate allegedly got raped by another inmate. 4 good people lost their jobs as a result of this incident. 1 officer got his job back out of the 3 and was paid for his time off of work. The alleged victim was paid an alleged lawsuit of a hefty sum, and the perpetrator was released without a trial for lack of evidence. As a taxpayer of Lawrence County, I'm appalled with the misappropriation of funds this administration has spent in the last 10 years. They have fired multiple officers multiple times and have back paid them when they got their jobs back in most of these instances. They even fired one of those said officers twice, back paying him for the time lost. The Newcastle News has recently published an article concerning the cost of overtime for the Newcastle Police Department in the first 2 quarters. That is peanuts compared to what this administration spends on overtime yearly. The facility had a span of a couple of years without a union and could have hired unlimited officers, part-time wage of $12 an hour. We chose not to hire and pay full-time officers top rate of $22 an hour to fill the need of overtime. This costs the county hundreds of thousands of unneeded taxpayer dollars. During this time, the officers were mandated repeatedly, sometimes 6 or 7 hour shifts in a row. During this span, the administration chose not to solve the problem of short staffing, elected to pay officers top rate for overtime they did not want. In addition, as a patriot, how can you sit there and watch American military service members be harassed for serving their country? One officer who recently received a verbal written warning for turning in paperwork a day late for training or said deployment. This was after the administration followed up with his leadership. Another officer almost received a no-call, no-show, which can result in immediate termination for going to his annual tour of duty because he didn't produce his orders prior to leaving when his orders were not even written yet. Another officer depleted his military leave time multiple years in a row after he had asked if he saved for his annual tour, leaving him without a paycheck back-to-back years for 2 weeks. Is this how we treat our military service members? As a correction officer, I don't understand how there can be overtimes on almost every scheduled post for the last 5 years. Why do they not solve the problem? In class this year during the height of the current pandemic, this was when other facilities were coming up with ways to operate with less staff. We were adding staff and operating with staff who could have easily worked from home. In closing, I thought for years the problem resided with the current administration, but I was wrong. The problem lies in the checks and balances system this country was built on. 4 people who voted to retain the administration were there for it all. My question now is, why do these 4 people choose to time and time again retain administrators that would have been fired for any of the incidents mentioned earlier, or others like assault on staff, escape, negating inmates' mail, 2 drug overdoses, millions of dollars spent on lawsuits against the facility, or just flat out poor management. These are some of the many extraordinary incidents in the last 10 years. What do you have invested in these 2 people? Where is your civic duty to ensure they are doing their jobs effectively? When there is blood or loss of a life because there is lack of leadership, will you share the accountability?
Okay, on an ending note there, I hope this doesn't come back and bite me, because every time we speak up, we get a target on my back. I've had a target on my back for years. I was off for 2 days. I put in a grievance to Major Hilton. He gave me the grievance back. Somebody told me I had an envelope. They called me today, said I had a second envelope. So I went in there today before this meeting, and it says I'm getting a written verbal warning for something happened on September 29th of not securing an inmate. I didn't receive no letter. I didn't receive what the write-up was or anything. I just get a written warning. That is what I'm talking about on how to run the jail. They didn't even tell me. There's certain administrators that can't even look me in the face. Can't even look me in the face. You walk down the hall, you put your head down, and you walk away. You can't even be professional. You have to go to somebody else and tell them to tell me. You know who you are. I don't need to speak names. You know who you are. If you can't be a man or a professional, at your job, then you shouldn't be working. If I don't like you, it doesn't matter if you hate me and I hate you. You got to still be professional and do your job just as well as you make me do my job. Thank you.
Any other comments from the public?
I did.
Yes.
I put 2 checks down there because
Oh,
Okay.
I did notice that.
Greg Rizzotti is my brother-in-law. Now, he's a very direct person. I wrote this down so I make sure I get it right. I want to make sure I say it right. He speaks very directly. When he speaks, he states what he doesn't like, and he says it without any gray. It's black or white. He's always been truthful, and everybody I've ever met that spoke to this man has always told me he was an honest, truthful man. Now, they may not like the way he delivered it, but he tells the way it is. And that's the only thing I want to say in respect to his character. Okay?
No further public comments? I will make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Do I have a second? Any further discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Same sign, motion carries. What will happen, we'll go into executive session just for the live streaming that there is. Executive session, and then immediately coming back from executive session will generally be an adjournment. I don't foresee any actions being taken. The live stream does go off and we can't start it back up again on the same live stream. It would have to be something else. We're trying to work those kinks out with it. But the executive session allows for the prison board itself to get together and discuss personnel matters that can't be discussed in a public forum. So I would ask that those of you that are not part of the prison board, if you would exit. And thank you for coming, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, no. Thank you. I actually was not going to this stuff. So thank you for
Right,
reminding me.
no, that's why I saw
You're gonna
it
get
in the
caught one of these
report there. I
days.
said, let me make sure that I do
Yeah, I'd like to have
bring this to his attention.
discuss something.
I was gonna ask.